Wow. Ana sama gaañi. Like ana waa Facebook. Wooy. Ma ne ko lii lan la nii. Lii tamit fa la ko nit di waxe. Guys, assalamu alaikum. Ma nuyu leen yéen ñëpp seen tur ak seen santa. Ma apologize leen. Wax leen ne sorry. Ñu ñëw 1 hour earlier. Basically, xam ngeen rek dang de plan lii something comes up so ñu ne xaaral ñu ñëw 1 hour earlier. Ma apologize leen rek yéen xam nga yéen a dee tax ñu dee toog fii foog ñu apologize leen di leen apologize te nit nag si erreur lay dikk xëy na am na ñoo xam ne they were planning for 7 p.m. already to come to the show but we have to do the show earlier so I just have to apologize to all of you guys nag tey moom xam nga dama leen dee wax ne yéen a dee laajte seen artiste yi soo leen laajte seen artiste yi ma dem ma lokoti leen tey nag lokoti naa Hussein aw ma jaama nag depuis suba ana Hussein yéen a ma traité sax ne dangeen ma unfollow ndik Hussein waaye man maa leen a block si dama soona so guys seen favorite seen artist yéen a ko laajte de ngeen ne Hussein ngeen bëgg a xam you guys want to know more about Hussein or you guys want Hussein here to clear the rumors the gossip the assumptions said about him and blah 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 well Hussein is here so ma bàyyi Hussein nag mu ñëw dugga si show bi nag show bi start Hussein nag dèjà moom nag dafa ñeme moom dama ko invite amul kalas sax mu ñëw ma ne ko góor bi amul kalas sax mu ñëw ne ma aji xoolal man damaa ñëw sa show bi hold on leen sorry Hussein let me look for you and bring you instead nag ma ne ko seen favorite artist yi tey Hussein moo fi nekk na Hussein nag toogu bi dafa war a tàng si Hussein toogu bi dafa war a tàng ñi siiraw nga ñanta ka kandil naa man kandil do amanke hot seat
Hello, Aji.
Hi, Hussein. Welcome to Aji's Corner. This is your first time here, and I'm so happy to have you on my platform. And I bet your fans are literally going mental to have you here. Then we take it from there. No time wasted. Straight away.
Assalamu alaikum, viewers all. Mbalbe Kontona, from the Gambia. I tell you, Allah Bolo Hussein, Dada, the one and only Dada, Gambia la Dada. So I'm bejane bimba Aji's Corner. Fana lafta ka jibele jamune katabijang. So, so we here, man. Shout outs to everybody watching us live right now.
Oh, bless. Hussein, it is very, very, very important. I was telling your fellow artists, I did a video a few days ago and I was like going effing and blinding. I was literally mad because it is very important to have you guys here. Munatina, because I told the fans all today I had to even send you a screenshot and say tell your fans to leave me alone because I can't be in peace. So bi du dee nekk pour man ñi dañ leen dee nama ba pare dañ leen dee naw bugga leen ba nga xam ne they want to see where Hussein is just sitting. It's a part of being obsessed with you guys. Like I said, we don't have to waste time. I bet this hot seat is supposed to be hot. So Hussein, I just want you to take me through a journey of like who is Hussein. Where were you born? Born, raised, itata school, jumale ban school nga 4 judo 4 yaro ban school nga demon, step by step, like a summary of it until you graduated.
Okay. Well, I was born in Banjo, and I was there till I was 5 years old. That's when I moved to Sukuta. And I've been in Sokoto ever since, then, so I went to, I graduated in SOS, back, that's when I graduated. And then music as a career started for me in 2016, and then I've been doing music since 2016 to now, so that's how the journey began. It started in school, but as a career was after school.
Hussein, that's really important. I think most of us knows that you went to SOS, right? Yeah. Because even me myself, I don't know much about Hussein, but I know Hussein went to SOS. But I will later tell you how I know about you going to SOS. Hussein, what inspired you to be a musician? Are you from a Gilead family? Are you from a family that forbids music? Or like, have you grown up looking to someone and said, oh, I want to be this person? What just draw your attention into music for you to sit and say, I want to be a musician?
Well, actually, I'm not actually from a musical family. You know, I'm from a family that like doesn't have anything to do with music. You know, so but then like I had this cousin that was doing a family cousin. You know, M Nizo, shout outs to him. You know, he was doing music back then, and he was a big name back then. You know, as well. So you know, looking at him, even before him, you know, I used to be a big fan of rap music. You know, from primary
Yeah.
school. You know, I can remember when 50 Cent released the Get Rich or Die Trying. It was going crazy everywhere. You know, by then, one of my nephew had this cassette of it. You know, because back then, you know, they had cassette, even cassettes and CDs were popping back then. You know, so I used to keep listening to it and stuff like that. So, you know, since then, I just fell in love with rap music and stuff like that. But you know, to become an artist, you know, I realized that you know I had this thing in me. You know, when I started rolling with my cousin, you know, I used to be in his room, you know, and then he would play beats, you know, I would just sing, like I was singing rubbish to it, just, you know, just lyrically try to play with it, even though I knew that, you know, the tool wasn't there, you know, but then that's how we started. So I used to look up to him, and he's the reason why I started music at the first place.
Oh, shout out to Jose's cousin,
Yeah,
who
Eminem, shout
yeah,
out to you.
who literally contributed in Hussein's career for us to have him here, having to question him and watching him and going to your shows. Hussein, we want to know, like, you as a musician, uh, take me through your journey of like the difficulties you have as a musician, having to be involved into music, having to get the connection, going to studios, financially, getting people to get involved in your music. Because I always tell the artists that comes to my platform, you have so many people that inspire, that you're inspiring right now. Somebody will be like, I want to be like Hussein. They will even go to the point where they will call themselves Dada or Hussein. So these people are listening to you, or they will come later and listen. So they'll be interested to know, because if they see you living a luxurious life, I'm not saying that's what you're living, but if they see you living a luxurious life right now, driving cars, wearing, because everyone knows that Hussein is into fashion and love fashion, they would think like it was magic for Hussein to climb from one place to a mountain. Take us through the journey that you have, difficulties that you have when you started thinking, I want to be a musician. How did you start?
Well, actually, you know, the starting, you know, the inception was very, very difficult, you know, because I came from a family, as I said, you know, that has nothing to do with music, you know, and then my mom, you know, as being somebody, you know, that plays a big role in my life in general, you know, was so against it, you know, so I had to start sneaking, you know, going to studio, you know, and then and at the end of the day, you know, the songs, you know, they will come out, you know, and then I'll just try to just keep it away from my family and stuff like that. But I myself, when popularity started coming, you know, I knew that, you know, it's impossible, you know, for you to hide from who you are, you know, at a certain point, you know. So these were difficulties. And when it comes to financial aspect, it's not just me, but let's say 95% of all the artists in Gambia would definitely tell you that they have been through something like that, because it's not really easy to be an entertainer in
Yeah.
Gambia. Okay, let me not just base it on music, but then even the football, the basketball, and all of that, you know, it's not really easy. So it's the passion that you have for it, you know, and the faith that keeps you going. You know, okay, but maybe a lot of people might see, okay, because in general, even when I was in a star, I just love myself. You know, I like to look good when I go out. You know, I like to stay fresh. You know, the freshest. You know, so you know, these are things that I always love. Like even when I was growing up, you know, maybe it's just the way I am. You know, but then that doesn't mean that, because I could remember, you know, back in 2018, that was one of my most difficult years
Oh,
in being like, yeah, as an artist. You know, there was 2 years in the game. You know, at some point in 2018, you know, life became very difficult, and then I started having the thought that should I continue with the music or just let it slide?
Yeah.
you know. But I'm happy that, you know, I didn't let it slide, you know. And then as the year kept going, you know, things keep getting better, because these are tests, you know, to see how strong or true you are to your cause. So, you know, it was a difficult journey, but today, you know, alhamdulillah, you know, it keeps getting better, you know, because if last year was good, this year is better, so it keeps getting better, you know.
Hussein, thank you very much, because like I said, people teenagers, kids growing up, looking up to Hussein, they'll be thinking that, ooh, it's so easy to be a musician. So I'm just gonna wake up one day, go to the studio, and everything will be like magic. I'll be dressing like Hussein, and all of that fans will come. So the money book motor so be fancy they like it, because they want to know like what you guys are going through or what you guys went through. Hussein, we want to know like the name Hussein. How did it come to be a combination of Hussein Dada? Because at the end of the day, we saw how artists will come up with nicknames. Is Hussein Dada your government name, or is it just an artist name that you just came up with and decided to say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna give myself a nickname?
Well, the name Hussein actually came from that same cousin, Emnizel. You know, because like when I was coming in the game, I wanted to use the name Dollar. You know, there was this American artist that
dollar.
yeah, there was this.
No,
No, I will tell you the reason when you follow behind it, because I used to be a big fan of this artist in America. He's a rapper signed by Akon at that time. You know, his name was Dollar, but you know, unfortunately, you know, he didn't make it that far. You know, like they ended up shooting him dead at some point. You know, so you know, I was like to pay a tribute. You know, since he wasn't alive, he was late. So I tried to take the name Dollar, you know, to keep the legacy. You know, but I was in the studio, so we finished recording. By the time we recording, then producer engineer like, what name do you want on the song? And I was like Dollar, and Emnizel was like, nah. Use Hussein. You know, I didn't even like I didn't have a second thought about it. When he just said Hussein,
I thought it's your government name, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So when he just said Hussein, I was like, yeah, that's the name I want. Like, let him just. So from there, Mr. Hussein used what I'm only. But for the Dada Mantadinuje, you know, the name Dada came early 2017. Okay. Yeah, early 2017, and Dada Nying put into the Hussein, because like we had this show back then, me and Chanta, that was supposed to happen in Alliance Franco. You know, so showing you, okay, now it, but then let's continue. So like showing him it was coming in. So I had this freestyle that I did. So freestyle on into Dada Nata from the freestyle. So once I did the freestyle, I was like, okay, since I did this. Not back then, I didn't have that guy yet by then. So Kabrina okay then what I'm gonna start taka Hussein Dada use. But then ndoko malatina dal used to Tonina, because I tell California Hussein Dada, and I really love the fact that I added Dada towards my name, because why? Near Hussein searching on the internet, maybe more search Hussein Dada. If I'm not the first person that's gonna show up, I won't be the third. You know, so that's how the Hussein Dada connected.
Guys, you know, they like to show me, because they can they come from different attitude. So Hussein, I don't know if you know how the name rhymes. Like it's just a combination of two nice. Now I don't know. Like well, that's why when you came up with the song Dada Ngayap, everyone just loved the song, because Dada bit of the and the rhyme bebugade name bebugade, which is really nice. So is Hussein your government name?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Lolu said na legi Hussein la tuda. So Hussein, we want to know, like, why did you suddenly also added Sukuta Boyo on your name? Is it that because ST got Bilkama Boyo attached to him, and you also decided to say, you know what, let me bring Sukuta Boyo, and yes, Sukuta Mol Bela had win. What is it about you guys having to add this place and this place? Because I'm fighting to get that Talindi Boyo too, because I'm from Talindi.
Because even before starting, even before
I'm not hearing you properly. I don't know what happened. Guys, yan ang ko dega buba. Go ahead. I'm not hearing you properly. Yeah. I think there's something with the speaker or something. Now I can go ya hasu shobi. Now I yeah, can you yeah, they're not hearing you properly. Can you adjust the volume, please? No. I think you should probably put your phone on do not disturb. I think if anyone calls you, it will interrupt the speaker. Okay. Hold on. Guys, you're not coding it properly. Go ahead.
Can I just send a request again?
Yeah, the voice is really low. Guys, Melen Hussein, Munulen Kodiga, ma said hello. Have the Gambia la nekk na network bi mom daf day am chest pain. So when you live in the Gambia and xam ngeen ne artiste Gambia ni suñ ñëwé network bi mom boppa bu metti lañ day am. So nañ ko bàyyi mu dem ñëwaat then ñu continuer show bi. Yena doon laajte Hussein mu ngi nii aji indil Hussein si hot seat bi wax naa leen ne guest buy ñëw si hot seat bi balaa muy exit please yéen tamit da leen a send question si ngeen inbox ko wala su ma defee flyer bi aji can you remind people with one of his music please. Oh well, okay, hold on, I have to bring him. I didn't plan that. Yeah, I think it's something to do with your phone, you know.
Okay.
Guys, are you hearing him?
I bet they will.
Hussein, we're not hearing you properly, you know.
Still.
Yeah, I think you should close your Facebook app.
I've closed the whole app that I have open right now.
I don't know, something happened somewhere. Add your volume or something.
Volume. but are you getting me yourself?
No, I'm hearing you, but the volume is really low. Even the audience are commenting that they're not hearing you.
Okay, let me just switch it up.
Yeah, I think you should do that. Guys, bailen ko nak ñu sot ko aw. Xam ngeen wax naa leen saa yu ma amee big artist rek chat daf ko dee toppa. Yan mi seen boppa chat ngeen. Mohamed, ana Mohamed Gay. Mohamed yow mi yaa ma toppa Hussein Mohamed yow yaa tax. Yow yaa tax Mohamed soo bi demul. Mohamed yow dama laa block. Yow lu leer Mohamed harass nga ma si Hussein. Toppa nga ma si Hussein. Fu ma dugga nga toppa ma Hussein. Mohamed yow yaa tax Hussein speaker bi sax yàlla def rek mu ne kapac mu dem. Wow, yeah, Gary. Mohamed, yo, bilay sa comment bi tay dama ko netal ma sen ko Hussein manako please tell your fans to leave me. Buguma problem. Yo sa comment bi dama ko bañ ba screenshot ma sen ko Hussein manako please jappale ma rek. Waxal ma sa fans ñu bay ma. Way Lamine Jay te tamit di ma laaj ST. Yo ST mi nga xamne bu mo ñew fi ni ci show bi ni niti faté nañ biri ST. I don't even know. And ngeen ne nelaw de. Go on to the page. All these artists ñom ST ñom Jalimadi ñoñu ñep ñoo ne ñom Barhama ñep ñoo ne ci show bi. So just go down and scroll. Hussein Dada suma artist la dama ko buga. Oh, bless. Hussein nam tabi buga na len parce que gis ngeen dama ko invite rek mu ñew. Te dega nak ndeysaan joxul ma ben difficulties gis nga tal na len sen artist bi tal na len. Sen artist bi tal na len dama ko invite rek mu ñew. So melen ma indi ko. Dada ngay yap man like Dada ngay yap Dada ngay man sa dama bëgg nekk musicien man suma duggé ci studio bi fi na len dis yet man I just gonna fancy like di dis ma duggé ci studio and of try len fi ma dugg studio fi ben bis rek sen touri lay duggé studio di len dis yo xam fi one pack sa lay started. Aji, please ask him hot questions. Of course the questions are going to be hot. Manko add, but guys, just give it a time. Mungi difficult from the network. Just give it a minute. I don't know what happened to his speakers there. Yeah, ñam Lamin Jaite fini fi. Bes mo duggé fi studio da ngeen yena fa ne man dama dof sax. Are you married? Yes, I am married. Hi, with 2 kids. End of. I didn't even try it. I'm married. I'm married. Violent chase. I am very legally married with papers. Mama said, please, balance cheese. I'm gonna say are you married? No married. Every time you ask me the same question, Bane Aji, where is your husband? One part. Guys, sorry. Hussein, I am difficulties put to say. Sorry, guys. I'm married. Balance cheese. Every time, are you married? Are you married? I'm married. Hello.
Okay. What
Aha,
about
perfect.
now?
Hussein,
Okay.
please
Okay.
tell your fans to leave me. They're asking me if I'm married. Yes, I'm married with 6 kids. Tell them, let them avoid that.
6 kids. Wow. Impressive.
Ila fans will be batandika. Are you married? Are you Yes, I'm married. So Hussein, welcome back. Basically, we take it from where we stopped. I can't even remember where we stopped. Well, okay. We've moved from you having to add Dada to your name to what again? Guys, can you guys remind me if I'm
You were
lying one?
talking about the Sukutaboyo thing again.
The Sukutaboyo. So how did you add Sukutaboyo to on your name?
Yeah, well, actually, like Sukuta Boyo actually came from the Brikama Boyo. That was true because like even before I started music, I used to be a very big fan of ST. So with the Brikama Boyo, so I just wanted to take Sukuta Boyo and then just add it to my name. Because like another reason behind it is because most of the people in Sokoto weren't familiar with me. I didn't used to go out. I didn't know that much people. You understand where I'm getting. So the reason why I added the Sokoto Boyo was if anybody listened to my sound and see, okay, if somebody from Sokoto is listening to the sound and he doesn't know who this guy is, but he hears on the sound that Nyimbafok and the Sokoto Boyo, definitely we don't know who he is, but then definitely we're gonna support him because like he's one of ours. So that was another reason behind it as well.
Hussein, I like your honesty because like I don't think so many people would sit there and say, oh, I added the name Sukuta because I wanted to win the heart of Sukutarians. So that is a huge thing for Sukutarians to hear. Unko Sukuta mol al nana nan mo Hussein support fee na len life every day lu leer la Hussein mu ngi ni mu add fofu Hussein Dada mu add Sukuta boy yana ngay yokal turam yi rek passport am bi sa dafa fess with ben name bo xam dafa tudda pour lan you support Hussein o suma gene fi Hussein, that is very important. Hussein, we want to know, like, you as a musician, do you normally write your songs or your songs are written for you?
Well, I wouldn't say I've written 100% of all my songs, because as an artist too, like it doesn't matter how good you are lyrically, it doesn't matter how good your pen game is, but if you want to go far, you always have to like seek assistance from other people to like better your craft. We've seen it not just Gambia, like we've seen it maybe a lot of Gambians don't know this, but internationally, let's say 99% of all the artists, have their stuff written by other people. It's not because you cannot do it, it's because like you want to reach more audience, and maybe you couldn't do it, alone. So you need other people, to like blend with you, to work certain songs together, to perfect the craft. So this is one thing that I always look into, because if you want to go far, you definitely have to involve other people into whatever it is that you are doing.
Hussein, which is very good because literally we have seen artists even like Davido, Wizkid, Beyonce, and all of that. They do write songs for them, and we will come to again to the point where songs are written for artists. Basically, Hussein, we want to know like where do you normally get the inspiration, or where do you normally draw inspiration from to have to if this is a lyrics that you are adding to your song or you having to write your own song, where does this inspirations comes from? Because I have interviewed artists here who tells me my lifestyle is what I say in my music, or my anger is what I pour in my music, or what people do to me is what I pour in my music. So like how is your music connected to your lifestyle?
Well, the music is connected to my lifestyle, but like the inspiration to write something, always comes from the beat. Once I listen to the beat will tell me what necessarily is needed on the beat itself. You know, so when I listen to a beat right now, and then the beat is telling me that I need you to write something that will relate to your life on this one, or relate to other people's life, the beat will actually, because when the beat drops, like when the beat started playing, that's how I know what I'm gonna lay on it. This is how I write my lyrics. Sometimes I wouldn't even actually write it on my note or with a pen. I would just keep going over this lyrics in my head over and over and over till I have what I actually want. So, but most of my songs, they talk about myself. You know, these are things that I've been through, or like sometimes I will talk about other people, because it, like life in general, if you talk about something that happens to you, there are millions of people that the same thing has happened to, or is happening to currently. So people just relate to it, you know, and then the message becomes clearer to them, because if I'm talking about this particular thing and then this actual person is going through it, then it makes us even.
Hussein, that is very important. I am struggling with my, what's it called again? With my what's it called again? With my tripod. So I have to literally ask the questions while I take another one. So basically, let's go do this. This is the first time it's happening to me. It's not working. So Hussein, let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a suitcase somewhere where I have a tripod because I'm always traveling. Yeah, basically, I want to know, no, we want to know, like Hussein as an artist, what, hold on, sorry, just give me this minute to take my tripod from my suitcase. Ali Batuda, Alexa fan sinyo disma, la si Facebook bi, elegra ga disma, sorry. Oh, perfect, here we go. Hussein tol kaparele. You see my cute little tripod. This is what I travel with. So now we're having difficulties with tripods. I need to fix that. Just give me a minute. I want to ask you the questions off head, but because it's not written by me, I'm having difficulties. Guys, sorry. Bulen Madur. Okay, perfect. Sorry. Hey, look at this one asking me if I'm coming to the cultural weekend. They know. ST ak attack sent so bi awma ticket man dama po so len defé go phone me dina ñu. Okay. Yeah, def len go phone me rek ngeen jënd ma ticket £50 dugal len xaliss bi rek légui ma ñew. So who said okay, let me go back to the questions. Okay, who said this is not a question that I've ever asked any artist on this platform, so I don't know why it is part of your questions. How do you handle criticism as an artist? Because basically I think the person must have saw that someone criticized you when I posted your flyers, because many of you do have criticism, and you as an artist, if anyone criticized you, how how did it affect your growth being criticized?
Well, actually, it's something that anybody else out there will tell you that, you know, they don't ever take it in a positive way, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're very strong mentally, you know, because, okay, for instance, like I come online, you know, and then I post something, and then I see hundreds of people saying positive stuffs about it.
Yeah.
Trust me, if I see one negative comment about it, that negative comment will have more impact than maybe all those 100 comments that were saying positive stuff. Because as a human being, you always want people to talk good about you. So once you see somebody saying some negative stuff about you, you know, it hurts you deep down, you know, but it's up to you now to react or to just let it slide.
Yeah.
You know, but criticism, everybody takes it in a very hurtful way, but then it depends on like how are you dealing with it, you know, because for instance, if I come in and I see somebody say shit about, I'll feel hurt because somebody's talking down on me, but at the end of the day I'll be like, yeah, it is his or own opinion. So at the end of the day, maybe I cannot change that. So on some don't form ferek na for abula na kulek na bula slide. But to be honest, like sometimes it really hurts. It hurts deep down. And like if you're somebody, and if you're somebody that's not really strong, like in the heart, sometimes this it can lead you into depression. It can change your way of doing what you're doing. Because you're gonna feel like maybe what I'm doing, people are not really, they're not loving it. And it's not that. It's just few negative minds. They always see things in a negative way. So you don't really have to let it down your spirit.
Who said that is really important, because I always tell them with the shows I do and being an activist, I have a thick skin, and I think it's something that every artist should get ready for, mentally, physically, emotionally, when you decide to say I want to be an artist. Who said rumor has it that, now we're getting to the part where I like the juicy part. Rumor has it that Hussein is full of himself. So do you think like Hussein as an artist is full of himself? Or do you, because like to be honest, man, I like when we chat on the show, like man, when I see you and me having to talk to you, maybe I'm thinking maybe Hussein, because everyone knows that Hussein dress is good. So I don't know if that's why people think you're full of yourself. But yo, you're full of yourself or what?
Well, actually, we just said that like just a minute ago. Everybody has their own encounters with people. Different, and then different opinion towards who a person is. But one thing I can tell you is that a lot of people used to misjudge me. Because like I'm a shy type of guy. Music aside, music aside. I'm a shy guy. And then if I don't know you, maybe the way I'm talking to you, you might feel like, this guy doesn't want to talk to me, but it's not actually that. It's because maybe he's very shy, so he doesn't know how to really communicate at some point. But then I believe majority of the people would say, Hussein is a cool guy, Hussein is down to earth, Hussein is humble, because that's the kind of person I believe I am, because even with people, not just artists, people normal like fans and stuff like that. In most cases, we meet and then we interact good and stuff like that. But you cannot satisfy everybody. And then other people might meet you, maybe in a mood, that maybe you're not feeling yourself, so maybe like you might say or react in a certain way that they're not familiar with. So they might confuse it for like, somebody who has pride, or like, his ego is too big or whatever. But I wouldn't say that's the kind of person I am, to be honest.
Guys, let's my artist with it. Hey, Hussein, you know what? I said this on a video where you were not, or you must not have listened to. I do say like my encounter with you is different. If you ask me who is Hussein, I will say the little minutes I spent to speak to you, he is someone that is conscious of saying I'm sorry. If you say Hussein, this he's quick to say, and this is something that even today, like before the hot seat, when I just woke up from napping, and it clicked on my mind. I said, I have spoken to Hussein few times, but if I send Hussein a voice message, he's quick to say, oh, Aji, I am sorry, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Aji, like you're quick to apologize, which in the society, we don't, even us, like Gambians are so prideful. We have this ego of saying sorry, even when we take notice that we've offended someone. And sometimes we don't even take offense, because I don't even take offense. But each time I said, oh, Hussein, you were supposed to do all this, you say sorry, which I really appreciate. And I did say this behind you now for the live me alonko imantaraje. And I did say to me, you're one of these Gambian artists, me alonko. I give you respect and credit for this. Every time I message Hussein, even if it take an hour or a day or two, and if message respond, and which obviously we are having difficulties, many platforms with artists, and I would have to congratulate you for doing that, because like I said, you guys need the media as much as we need you. If you can't even come to a platform, just respond and say, give me time, or postpone, or adjust the time, or fix it, or say I'm just not interested in this. So which of course maybe people don't know that about you, and I want to give you that credit for always saying you are sorry quickly. Having to go back to where you started, Hussein. I'll draw it back. When you started music, we saw you with Chanta.
Yeah.
And it was you and Chanta, and you guys had few songs. And I think you guys went to the same school together. Because
Yeah.
me, as someone, I always tell people I watched Chanta grow. He used to be in my room. I think I told you this the first time that I invited you, but this was months ago. You might forget. Chanta, I watched Chanta grow from St. Teresa's, where he would come from school and come to my room and sit there and kept saying, I'm his wife. He used to tell me I'm his wife all the time. Hi, it's mama game, man, you're like taka, man, you're like buga. So having to, the for dangam, he's been
Yeah.
dangam since he was young.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So, Hussein, you and Chanta, how did your friendship come? How did you guys be friends?
Well, actually, when I was in grade 11, Chanta just came, like, from grade 9 to grade 10. But like you said, Chanta is full of
Yeah.
life. I wouldn't even tell you when was the first day I met Chanta, because I could tell from the very first day I met him, it was just vibing. But he used to be somebody, even though he's not, like, he doesn't speak Mandinka fluently, but he used to like my music, because like I said, when music was in the career for me, I was doing like just like this school music, that you would rap with your boys and then play it for all the students in the school, and then they would like it. So Chanta used to be one of the people that really liked what I used to do back then. So when I released a song, because I wasn't known back then in the school. Like I said, I'm a very shy guy.
Oh,
So yeah, I wasn't one of those popular kids in school. So normally nina song go bondi like nina music go bondi like ataka tari school o gonna come ka janjang moli. So atelka ke moti no me alon ko kom nina song bondi rek nga sen like atelka ke one of the first people to me nunca na song sol soto ka janjang school o kono. So na nyolo nya, but an manke artist oti was he wasn't an artist, like he wasn't doing music. So kabrinte graduate na music bula, I wasn't doing music anymore. Because with family and stuff, so I had to stay away from music. Even before no school, but I had to leave music. So one day, Mbasiri night, I demo kinye. I can like nani record, like, can you listen to it? I'm like, first I'm a rapper. Yeah. I'm a rapper. So when I listened to it, yeah, when I listened to it, yeah, I was like, it's good. Like, you're really doing your thing. You know, So I'm going for it, like hanga, yeah, nyimba abala cool cake and so I liked it. So kabri wate panabala cool at some point I found music bulala because he needs to focus on his studies. So when I came back in 2016, like now I started music as like not own thing. Like this is what I want to do. So kabring I had like 4 months. Mbagimo kono like 4 months. I found a murta otamo because I school banne. So he wanted to get serious with the music as well. So I believe the first song he did coming back was with me, Nyungitanga. So when Nyungitanga, I wouldn't say it's a perfect song, because even when we were recording it, I was like, yeah, it's a good song. Let's just release. But to my surprise, Kabrin song Jimbota, due to his popularity, because at his school, Dinungol Bay Alode, everybody. So like, yeah, when the song came out, this song became a hit. Like, I'm like, how? Every school, all the kids, this guy was like, he was moving crazy back then, because he came with a fire, like, a very, like, if he had continued with that same energy, trust me, he would have been in a level way bigger than Gambia itself. That's the kind of energy he brought in the game. So when he came, we released the Nyungitanga, then we both got signed in the same level. And then he dropped another song featuring Jizzle called Bad and Famous, which became even bigger than the first one, the Nyungitanga. So that's what I'm like. That's what I mean. When I said this guy came, I knew fireman nata was too much. So Kabrai Bad and Famous, he did Gang Leader. So the label seeing that connection between us. So we started doing shows together, because I can remember we did the Nyungitanga concert in Sukuta Events Garden, and then we did a double show, let's say a double mixtape launch on the same day, same night, at Alliance Franco. That was in 2017, February 24th. And then that same year, 2017, we did another show, November 18, in Jama Hall. So the chemistry was good. But what many people failed to understand was that we were never a group, you know.
That's my next question.
Yeah, we were never a group, but we had this chemistry that people like. You know, they always like to see us together because whenever we connect, we come up with the hits. You know, we come up with the songs that the kids love and stuff like that. So you will see in 2018 too as well. 2018 we didn't have no shows in 2018, but early 2019 we did another show in Q City, but it wasn't on the field. It was in the hall. You know, so 2019 was that point that we started having this solo mindset, like, you know, okay, because in 2019 I was working on a solo project, he was actually also working on a solo project. So that's when we started telling ourselves that, like, let's give this solo thing, you know, because in as much as being, you know, connected to somebody musically is very good, but like your ideas, they differ. You know, I might like something this person doesn't like. He might like something I don't like. You know, so this is why, you know, anything that has to do with group is very difficult for it to stay consistently moving for a long period of time. You know, because of what, different people, different personalities, different things, like they like different things and stuff like that. So, but then in our own case, we never had no problem. You know, it was all peace, love, and unity, you know, till the very end. Until this day, you know, it's still the brotherhood, the family between us, you know. So it has always been like that too as well.
Hussein, to be honest, someone like me that loved your song with Chanta called, I think it's called Doma, but you guys said Doma, something like that. I think it was a beef song. This song, it was on my ears, like, dama nga repeat la for YouTube for dama di ben by la YouTube, because I love the song. And someone like me who didn't know that you guys were not a group, because this is one of the questions that you even answered while talking, because we, not only me, to be honest, Gambians, if they're honest, they will tell you that, oh my God, today here, they'll be like, oh my God, we didn't know that they were just two people joined together to bring their music career up that place, because they saw the chemistry between them. So I think that this, when I saw you singing alone, I was like, bloody hell, what did Hussein, to be honest, I was like, what did Hussein just did to his career? And when I saw Hussein, what's it called, Chanta singing alone, I was like, bloody hell, how did they sit down to even think about separating? Do you get what I mean? And this is where Gambians will also think, like, I'll separate that. Hussein, come take because I want to bring the local languages too, because I can see them saying we can mix it and blend it. Because some of them would struggle with it. Don't you think that you're fogulone, like Hussein is better, more powerful if it's you and Chanta? Or have you ever thought of bringing him back to one of your songs or your music, or having to come back to a music career where, don't you think like the people too love the two of you more than you as a solo artist?
Yeah, well, actually, I believe, you know, we, Kabrimba Doko Kekang, you know, as like together, you know, there was this power, like there was this energy and this power, because like America Mufula is always stronger than Mukili. But like, what I'm gonna tell you is that, like, me as a solo artist, you know, I've achieved more, you know, as a solo artist than when I was working with Chanta.
That's true.
But woman can,
we can see
because
that anyway.
woman
I'm
can,
always
because
honest that.
woman can, because separate tale wala no ketari. But you know,
Guys,
even
sorry,
not that
no.
even not that do still, we will still achieve those same things. You know, many things on men can still achieve like with him. But men like me as a solo artist, like nothing achieve, because like Kabrin Tata solo, you know, that's when I started filling up arenas like Q City, you know, and the likes, you know. That's when the music started growing, because you know why? Gambian music form but falling can no time. You know, you have QTV coming in. Now people are watching us live on TVs frequently. You know, people are getting to love us more. You know, so more start take a more jelly, more and more and more. And this is how they get used to the sound. But like one thing I will always tell you, there was a big energy between Tenate, whenever we, that's why in that last project or Namen job, I had to bring him back, I had to bring him back on a song because of another project auto in 2021, his project, Afane Nati Nujela album. So last year, I brought him as well. So Pruka Italy Molako always, Janiben Yinala, like let them always feel like there is a connection between these guys that will always be there. It doesn't matter how long I will let Pruga on the same stage together, or on the same song, but like the brotherhood will still continue, because that's my brother regardless. So that's family, it's family.
Hussein, we're having to talk about Chanta today, and I would love to have him on the hot seat, and this question would also go to him. Today, at this peak of your career, Chantala, him adding to your music career, how did you see that, how Ayala career add no, how did it add to your career? And do you think part of it is what pushed you to be Hussein that you are today?
Yeah, like he played a big role towards my career, big time. Because like reason why I'm both for this because like Chanta yelondi mo jamala, because kabren debenakan game kono aning Chanta binakan game min kono. That's why I know for it like aning energy menata with that fire, it was too big, it was a big energy, and then why important about it, it happens to deal with more of the kids, because for time schools things like you understand maybe schools man stuff so sort of like before, but in the lower time back then schools were connected like the SOS Baptiste and those, all of the schools were too connected, so I say like coming in, and then me collaborating with him on stuff when tell fan base I have big nearly towards those ends, because the reason why it's very good to have a younger generation when it comes to I'm a younger fan, like hanga come this kids and all of that, is because it's a lika grow nulal. Was keba little on kebayaning, kebayaning responsibility like ana. So after go time sort of come for you, but all they have all the time in the world, So I will value art na music go to until this day, I will always be grateful for that, So I've never in a point in my life sat and said I regret, well, I not regret sort of ever working with him, because I end up image or boostle, the career and everything, towards whatever it is that I'm doing today.
Hussein, wo is very clear. So Hussein, after in Chanta Mol Major Kotenke, I think just a while later, Dada Gaya Bondi. Me
Yeah.
as Aji, okay, I thought that song was a beef to Chanta. This is not part of the questions. I just thought about it. I swear down. When I saw this song, I'm like, seriously? So Hussein just separated with Chanta and trying to challenge Chanta to say manga yapsi music. Hussein, like, no, this is a question that you're answering for me because, like you said, I've been your music and Chanta, like I've been following a lot because, like I said, I nurtured Chanta like as a baby growing up.
Yeah.
So was Dada Yap? This is a question that rumor that you're answering in my head to clear it.
Well,
Was Dada Yap for him?
Daranga yep normally for like song in nata nyamin from wele fonita. Daranga yep didn't even have Nekom Hussein Dada last start. Daranga yep started the Nimon Lebala. Because normally last year in Kata Sholtole, but Ninkata Sholto, even like Atatale for Jara Soma, Bolunga de Foncom, long Tata Jara, because Ninkata Shulka didn't want company. Daranga yep. I'm like, I never took it serious. It was never something me along for come miralde. I'm Kabagala, yeah. But Captain Tata for Jara Soma. Not no I'm like, bro, I need to make something out of this. I need to make something out of this. So Dadanga actually came from the kids, these little boys. Melkatari Yanga, Sholto Tenganga. So Dadanga had nothing to do with, bro. Like Chanta would be the last person I'll ever beef on a song, bro. Nothing beef no internet photo, but then on a song now, that would be funny, bro. That's my man.
To be honest, I thought that song was, but even though even if it was for Chanta, me I was jumping to the Dadanga yap, me Dadanga. And to Hussein, to be honest, Like Dada Ngayap, I don't know if you know the volume, like like that song is mwah. I can just watch that song. It's the energy for me, and you having that. No, Dada Ngayap, I tell you for the special for you. In another change the from Sukuta boy, ni Sukuta
Yeah,
boy, so it's not nice. Take it
definitely.
out. Pro to Dada Ngayap.
But the
Listen.
truth is,
Mhm.
yeah, the truth is time more can get actually Daranga Yablela than Sukuta Boyo or Hussein. Because ni Dada Dauda, Daranga Yab, I'm like, that's not my name. Like I'll put Dada or something else, but Daranga Yab, like, everybody like, but it's beautiful, I like
Yeah,
it.
I like that Angaya because it makes you seriously. If they started calling me Ajingaya, hey, problem. I'm not the internet dude. Fee every day fee. May that no boy me. I am dog. I am dog. Hussein, I am very happy to definitely have to have this conversation with you. And please, when I send you voice messages in the morning, I'm not apologizing again because that voice, I'm like tukar. Okay.
Yeah,
Who said
yeah, I can
Malawacha?
come.
Malawacha. Bayre Matio Kofidi. So basically, who said this is getting really interesting now. Who said we saw that Hussein got married really young. I don't know your age, but like
Yeah,
looking at it as an artist,
I'm
when I heard that
29.
you're married, yeah, and the whole Gambia, let's say the whole world. Let's just say that having to hear that you are young as an artist, we want to know like what made you got married at your age, like at the peak of your career. Don't you thought like you could have waited, or did you think like, oh, you know what, right now is where I need a woman next to me to support me and all of that? Why married so young?
Well, actually, the reason why like, I took that decision
Mhm,
was because I was looking for happiness. At a point in time that I was getting married, I didn't have no
mhm,
happiness,
mhm,
in me, and then, I was like, at a point in life that, I seen this person that I've been with, like, for quite a while,
mhm,
and then, certain things might happen, that might not go the way that you want it to,
mhm,
so, looking for happiness, it doesn't matter whether you're old, young, or whatever, but if you're looking for happiness and you feel like, there is this special person that you can live with, that can like complete your whole life, so I believe, you got to go for it, and that was the reason why I took that decision. And up till this day, I've never regretted it, and I've thanked God, and I just pray that, he would keep blessing me, and my wife and my marriage, for forever, inshallah.
Hussein, Hussein Yatale, very clear. So, Hussein, before I say, like you said, you having to start with Chanta and your career started where you have all these young girls and young boys from school, SOS. Even if you say Hussein, people say, oh, it's the schools that makes Hussein who he is. Yeah, because I had a conversation with someone who is in the music industry for the longest, and he was like, Hamga Hussein, mom, young people in your fancy.
Yeah, that's,
And there is always a young debate about you and your life on Instagram. Because you almost alive being on Instagram every day you debate ko fufu no. Luma baga
mm,
hamne na mali duga Instagram. So who said basically rumor has it that before you got married, you and your wife were having an issue and you lot basically blocked and unfriend each other on Instagram, and a week later you guys started following each other and got married. Was it right for a couple with Australia? Or what was happening there?
yeah, actually, there was actually a minor issue,
Mhm,
but like yellow book monkey, like, in
mhm.
whatever relationship
Yeah.
that it is, I could say that, I was a little bit
Mhm,
naive, and then I handled situations that I should have handled
mhm,
in a much mature way
mhm,
that I really handled like as a child,
mhm,
so, but then at the end of the day, it made me just realize, how foolish, of a human being that I was
mhm,
at that very point, or
mhm,
what kind of foolish decisions that I've taken, and
mhm,
then this decisions were the reason why my eyes go wide open, and then I realized that, now, I really need to upgrade my life, I really need to upgrade myself as a human being,
mhm,
and that's the reason why, I ended up getting married, to somebody that means, like somebody that means a whole lot to me, you know, and you know, it is what it is at the end of the day, you know.
billaay wallaay góori Gambia bu fi dof lu he Hussein mu ne moom léegi dem na mu seet toogaay mu defar boppam bi yéen xam ngeen ma fii ni seen artiste sax ñu ngee correct yéen ngeen ne doo leen correct any damn thing fii laaji Hussein yaa xam ne sax fii seen artiste yi ñoo toog ñu ne ñun dama toog ma xam ne jigéen bii defuma ko I didn't do right by her I decided to do right non Hussein ye problème o di ke walla la jam ñim plateforme otu se bo ngeen commencé di daw fii soo leen way dama Hussein dara sax ba mu defee rong dafa dem correct ko dem na ngeen correct seen life leer laa la wax Hussein which is very clear and to be honest you're young and you've got a long way to go and having to sit here as a Gambian artist this is what I said come out and come to these shows because people look up to you guys they'll be thinking that hi Hussein dafa bad 1 week sa before mu taka jabaram sa daf ko bàyyi nii block ko wala unfriend ko nii man sa loolu la let me tell you no don't underestimate how we Gambians think gis nga mu Dada nga yab bii nii ñoom dañ foog ne loolu yëpp badness la de ibela bu sol block la yo on block ye mare ri mare am no joking
Come on, man. Nah, man.
we Gambian all of Taylor anything you do you don't have to follow what believe me from this minute all of them will go and apologize to their women because of what you said
Bro, Ali apologize, bro. If you know you would like you did your partner wrong, go and apologize, man. You're not gonna die saying sorry, you know. Once you realize this,
Thank
your
you.
life will get will get even better, you know. So if you're wrong, always accept your wrongs, you know, and then say sorry, you know, and then you know move to the next thing, easy.
Who's the you could they follow your footsteps. That's what they just wrote.
Exactly. So definitely, I believe they will go on. I believe they will. They will.
So guys, them then send jabari yena is send janka yen yena ngi ton depuis last week yena ko stressal them then apologize. Who say going back to the show. We're going back to the rumor part. This is where I like the show. It's the juicy part where everyone comes to watch about you guys. Hussein, rumor has it that before you got married, you literally got your partner pregnant, and then you had to cover up because your partner got pregnant before. I like my soul. I see. So literally, you had to cover because you just said, "Oh, before anything else come into it, I decided to marry." Who said? It was all over the internet.
Yeah, well, I saw that, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, you know, as a human being, not just an artist, you know, those were one of the things that really, like, you know, it really killed my spirit inside. You know, when I saw it, you know, I was really hurt deep down my soul, you know, because even if that was the case, I don't believe I would have ever gotten married to anybody that was pregnant just to cover up something. You know, I would never want to be that kind of person, you know, or whatever, you know. But then when I saw it, you know, I got mad, you know, wallahi, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really got mad. And the page that really first posted it, till this day, if I knew the admin behind it, he would really tell me, you know, why they happened to post it. You know, because I'm never ever gonna take things like that slightly. But at the end of the day, I came to realize that, you know, sometimes people just want to say rubbish about you, you know, just to kill you, like just to kill your vibes, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I believe they themselves, you know, they have eyes. You know, it became clear to them, you know, that their stupidity sometimes they need to rectify it, you know, and say things that make sense because that actually didn't make no sense, you know. And I believe now everybody knew that, you know, that was just a false accusation or they were just saying things maybe for clicks or more engagement, you know. But I believe that was just rubbish, man.
Hussein, Yemin for Akumaya Tabake, and I would love to say this in Mandinka and Wolof. Can you follow? If you're creating a page, make sure whatever you write is the fact or itatale find that fact. I'm an activist and I talk and I come out and fight for people. But if something happens, I find out I get facts because I don't want to come out and start saying shitty things about people. And if you have someone like Hussein or someone like Aji or somebody else, and you come and write shitty things about them, sometimes you don't know that these things they haunt them for the rest of their lives. And
But one thing, I'm not gonna lie, like the page that first posted it, at those very point, they had an agenda against me. You know, whether they were paid for it, whether they were on a payroll or whatever, you know. But I actually knew because like they weren't posting anything good about me those days. You know, so I just made it easier for myself and then blocked it. Till this day, I don't want to know anything that happens there. You know, sometimes you just need to like get yourself away from all this bad energy, you know, people that don't wish you good. You know, sometimes you just need to just block whatever it is, you know, and then just, you know, live your life, you know, in a much peaceful way, you know, because that didn't bring me no peace, you know. That very night I found it very difficult to even have the proper sleep, you know, because I'm thinking this person just like put this out there about me, you know. There are two different set of people that will take it. People that don't like me would definitely say it's true. People that like me will be there defending my name, you know. So why do I even have to be in a position like this, you know? So that's why it really hurt me. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know, life is what it is, you know. So, you know, you just got to take it the same way they just put it out there. So the truth will eventually come out and people will know, you know, what the truth is at the end of the day.
Hussein, what you said is very important because, like, Gambians, many of us don't believe in mental health, and some of the things that you write about people online, it can affect them mentally. It can
Big time.
sink them, yes, it can sink them into depression, the anxiety at night, not sleeping. Like it can give them a panic attack. Like we need to stop some of the things that, like, if my fans would tell you on my page, I only write funny things. I will even come out and say I'm a virgin, and all of them would just come and did like joke and laugh. But we need to know, like you said, most of this page would come up with shitty things about people, like you said. If you're gonna be the clique, the following, and like
Yeah,
people enjoy it. People enjoy toxic.
exactly. Exactly. There are people who only just want to see
Yes,
negative stuff online, so
yes.
they can laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can share it with other people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and they don't know this is real life. You know, it's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
movie. You know,
yeah,
it's somebody else's life you guys are
yeah,
laughing about.
yeah.
So it's not really funny at some point. You know, if something is funny, we can all laugh at it. But if something is wrong, you know, to an extent, I believe we have to stand and tell the person that this actual thing that you are promoting here doesn't make sense. You know, and it will make sense if you delete this, you know, and like, you know, you spread things that will actually bring peace to people but not break people mentally or spiritually or whatever it is.
Emotionally. Hussein, like we're saying, basically, some of us don't consider other people because untold we only think about ourselves. What
Ourselves,
I'm
yeah.
putting out there, if Hussein's got a partner, I am not, even if I don't like Hussein, I'm not only hurting Hussein, I'm hurting
That,
Hussein's partner, who is
exactly.
innocent in all of this shit. If you get what I mean. So if you're married, everything you do will tag along with your wife. Everything your wife does will tag along with you. So if people say
Definitely.
silly things about you, if you're down, your wife is down. And if this has something to do with your wife, and it's not a nice thing, people will look at your wife and she's beautiful and young. Hey, go, the manga them talk, kabra I am married, you konola, blah, blah. People should stop. And me, this is why I fight every day on the internet. Even if they attack me, I talk. I'm having to go to yes, who said, take a fight? Yeah, they know me. Who said, having to go back to the questions. We had the song. We saw you recently with Uche. Uche, you guys are friends. I have Uche on the hot seat about 2 weeks ago, and basically we saw you guys were beefing and here and there. So having to see you guys again, um, coming together as musicians, even though if you guys are not close friends, to sing and come together. Don't you think like having to your fans to see the beef and they were enjoying it and having to bring the brotherhood again, don't you think that will affect your music career, or you thought that at that point that's what your music needed?
Well, actually, me and Uche, you know, like for the few people who didn't know, you know, me and Uche used to live together, not just once, but
Is
twice.
it?
You know, so yeah,
Okay.
so it was like it was close. You know, it was really close. You know, so at that point, at that time of the beef, you know, beefing, you know, it was a bad one. You know, it was a very bad one. You know, a lot of things were said, you know, that I've really regret to this point because they're still on the internet. They do the YouTube, you know, and these were things said by me, and then, you know, there were other things said by him too, you know. But at the end of the day, the most beautiful part I like about this whole thing, we never forced like reconciling, you know. Nenemanta, Kafoko, okay, let me go and call Uche and tell him like, let's be cool. Or Uche never tried, to call me to tell me let's be cool, because Nina Wokenu, like today, you wouldn't have seen us on a song, But the fact that we allowed ourselves to let the anger wash away in our system, to know that okay, we let bygones be bygones. Whatever was said was said. I'm sorry, you're sorry, and now, that's why today, if I meet Uche, we still vibe like the time that we used to live together. Because no one can even nim benta for nata de diamo bente ma bakela muneti Uche Dada nata na hajor. But saying ka communicate no like kacha no, we talk about stuff and all of that, because you know why? Na allow le kom nonsense women dun da moltema koma be botaje actually. Then nata mune we build a new friendship, a more mature friendship, Me along come okay, it's now two mature guys. He is doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing. So I believe most of Nafan soul, they accepted it, because they seen okay, these guys, in the beef man natanu, Nafata dal. Because unity is power. So, unity inside will be more tema, and then when you unity they use like a more Gambian soul connect nula, pro music go ni genata, anga come calling atata je wanyamale dal.
Hussein, you know what? Sometimes you artists, some of you thinks that like when I do the beef is when I get the audience's attention and all of that. But I don't know if you guys have ever thought that if we see you guys together, we literally so happy. Today I posted on my wall. I said because I like people. I'm a vlogger. I'm an activist. I'm a content creator. So I've got multi talent. Today I woke up just to remind people that ST and Attack can come together and it will be fun again, and even seeing them in a song. And I wrote, I had a dream last night that this weekend is the London weekend. I said, I took a picture with ST and Attack. I'm in the middle. This one is on the left and the right. And people were just loving it. And they were praying that it happened, if you know what I mean. Because I want to remind people that peace can reign in and everything could be okay. And if you see the energy, that people already love the idea to see them together. So I think most artists should. Sometimes we don't want the toxicness. Sometimes we want the phone to see, hey, 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 like, I think you guys should sit and think about that. So having to move on again. Hussein, the song Nafiko, rumor has it that when you had the beef with Uche, it was directed to Uche. So this is just a yes or no question. Was the song directed to Uche?
No, Uche, his voice is in the song.
Is that?
Every day I'm on the go. Every day I'm on the go. That's his voice. Okay. He recorded the song. Yeah, he recorded the song. It just happened that when the song was releasing, we had that beef going on. But his voice was actually on the song itself, So that song, I recorded it at Uche's, and he was the one that made the beat. So I would be dumb to be dissing somebody on a beat that he made and have his voice on the song as well. So that had nothing to do with Uche at all, It was just a song I did and then have Attack on it, So that was the only thing there.
Hussein, like having to sit here talking to you, it makes me think like I tell people damade visualize and listen when people talk and are connected. Now brain is fast. Having to listen to you, sitting with me, having this chit chat and talking. It makes me feel like when you were coming to the music industry, you were young, and days goes by and you get mature and you grow up and you keep saying, this is not for me anymore. I've grown past this. Definitely. I want to be this person. It's like now you're growing day by day and picturing yourself and trying to walk towards who you think like you want to be as a mature and grown up. If I am wrong, that is what I'm definitely seeing.
Definitely. So and you made a point not long ago about beefing. I believe that like most artists, it might work for them, but me as a person, I don't feel like beef has any space in my music because it confused the listeners. So as that's why this year 2023, I'm only focusing on what the positive side, giving my fans good music, giving them a good concert, you know, and then let them just see that upgrade in me, you know. So controversies and all of that, these are things that I've left in the past, you know, and then now I'm just focusing on becoming a better person, you know, a better me and a better version of Hussein Dada himself.
Hussein, me, I'm already smiling. Me, I'm already liking you more. You know, I'm a fan. I'm already. Me, this is what I want. I promote peace. When I'm called told Befe Nanjang, if you sit here, I will say, who's say you're my favorite. Somebody else will come and say my favorite.
Yeah,
And then, you know
definitely.
what? Singate will come. And so most of the time, I'm like, Singate is my favorite Gambian musician. And my friend will like, Aji, please give us a break. Because he's not here. When somebody else is coming, you say they're my favorite. I just can't help it. I just love gum music and I love all of it.
Yeah,
Who's that? Normally you do call yourself Gambia's number two, and
yeah.
it gets us, most of us, confused. Why Hussein is not claiming number one but number two? So why do you normally go two, not one instead?
Well, actually, this was at a point in time last year, you know, that I was interviewed on Fatu Network, and then somebody asked me, you know, where would you rank yourself currently in the Gambian music industry? And then I told them that I'm top two. You know, I didn't even put a third top on it. I just said I'm top two. You know, and then the person asked me, who do you really feel like, you know, is up there? Like, who do you feel like, you know, like is the one like that you thought like, you know, is on top of the game? And then I mentioned SD, and then every it was like, you know, an explosion just happened in the country, like somebody dropped a nuclear weapon. You know, I can remember leaving that interview for another interview in less than 30 minutes. And this thing was on the internet. On the other interview, they asked me the same question. I'm like, wait, how did you guys know about this? They were like, it's already on the internet. So what do you expect? So like, you know, SD, like I said before, like, you know, with the Sokoto Boyo thing, you know, this used to be a person that, you know, I always used to look up to, you know, somebody before I even became an artist. You know, I was a big fan and all of that, you know, and according to all the achievements that, you know, he had, you know, in the industry, you know, and, you know, how you can see he's just blending in with every generation, you know, he's just fitting in every generation, you know, and his craft is just his craft keep getting better and better, you know, so I feel like, you know, me saying that, you know, I'm a top dog on top of that, you know, would be really unfair, you know. So,
Disrespectful.
and yeah, and when I was talking, you know, I was talking about currently, you know, because if you asked me and you was like, okay, we're saying, do you feel like you are still in a GOAT debate in the Gambian music industry? I will tell you that that's a probability, maybe, you know. But if you ask me about a current status, you know, I will tell you that this is where I feel like I fit in right now. You know, so these are two different things that people don't understand, because sometimes I see people involving other people in a GOAT debate in Gambia. I'm like, people are going crazy. When you say GOAT, you mean the greatest of all time,
Yeah.
you know, who did it better than any other person before and now. It doesn't have a generation. When you say GOAT, it doesn't mean that you are talking about from 2001 to 2005, or you are talking about like generally, you know, you're talking about generally. So like when you ask, if you ask me right now, we say, do you feel like in the Gambian music
I was
industry you're
gonna
part of a,
ask you. So just go ahead and answer the question.
yeah,
Who do you
you
feel
if
like
you
right
ask
now?
me
Yeah.
like, do you feel like you're in a good debate? I'll tell you that I don't feel like I've reached that yet, you know, but maybe we might get there, you know, sooner or later, inshallah. You never know, you know. But if you say currently, where do you see yourself currently? I'll tell you that this is where I'm at. And if you ask me last year, this year, or any, I will still stand on the same ground, you know. So this is what people fail to understand, you know. This, and that's the truth. Like, you know, it is where I stand still.
Hussein, do you know that people hear what they want to hear,
Definitely.
regardless of how much you want to break it? Even if we finish here and I put the camera up, they will start cutting it and say Hussein said he's number two, because this is what they, because and listen, here is your fans. Regardless of if you say I'm number six, they will put you on 201, because that's how much they
That
love you. And you rated yourself.
exactly.
Even now I'm six, your fans will say, hey, Hussein can I'm all yep. Until you know, until my long I
Definitely.
underestimate. Yeah.
Easiest
Yeah. Yeah.
ABC.
Yeah,
Easiest
definitely.
ABC. So your fans will always put you on the highest above any other person, you know, because that's their job, you know. They
Yes.
don't want nobody else to sit there and say, yo, I have this artist better than yours. That's, and no, it's not possible for them, you know. So they always win. But sometimes you know, you gotta give
Yeah.
respect where it's due, you know. Yeah, so game recognizes game, you know, for sure. So
Who said, like, people say ST's got this fan base that loves him so much, but having to have this platform and being advised to bring gum music, and I started bringing gum music into it. Um, I realized that some people are like literally obsessed with you. I have this guy that every other artist that comes, he won't stop messaging. I want who said that. I want to in my inbox. This guy is, I think his name is Ibrahim. Even Mohammed today, like in the Gambia, the last time someone inboxed me and said, I bought my credit already, waiting for Hussein. If Hussein does not come, you're paying for my paying for my credit. I'm like, bloody hell, this guy, he needs to come, like, he needs to come and answer to his fans. Yes, definitely, you should
yeah,
know this, because I want to remind you of this, because I did a live few days to make sure that you guys know how much these people are obsessed and support you. So
yeah,
you
definitely,
always have to think about them, because they love you guys. And this is a
definitely,
moment that they will never forget it, or they might not have again in a
most,
year or few years time. So please
most
cherish your
definitely,
fans.
most
They
definitely.
love you. Hussein, we saw you work with Jisoo's ex-manager.
Yeah.
So we want to know, after working with his ex-manager and you having a good relationship with him, did that affect did that affect any ways your relationship with Jisoo? Am I affected, or am I affect you
Nah,
guys
but
are still cool?
nah, bro, Jizzle, that's my twin, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's my twin, you know. That like that's family, you know. So even before Untamed Music Go start, you know, me and Jerry, we were kicking it, you know, we were doing our own thing, you know, and there's something that, you know, I believe, you know, he took it a positive way, you know, because like as a manager, you are a manager, you know, you can see one person managing different people, doing his own thing. So I don't like that has never been something that has bring bad blood between me and him. You know, we've never even sat down, you know, and have a conversation on a negative way about it, you know. So it has always been peace, you know, because him and this particular individual, you know, they're still on peace terms, you know. It's not like, you know, they want to kill each other, or, you know, they don't mess with each other or whatever. So, you know, it has never gotten to that point, to be honest.
Hussein, that is clear. You know the Gambian. If I have an issue with Hussein, I can feel it fanang.
Yeah,
Like
to
you
have
have,
an
yeah,
issue, yeah.
yeah.
That's
If
not how it's supposed to be,
yeah.
though. Like, nah, man. That's not how
So
it's
even
supposed
if Jose's got an issue with his manager, oh sorry, Jesus got an issue with his manager, is Jesus and his
Yeah,
manager's ex-manager's
definitely.
business. It has
Personal business,
nothing to do
yeah.
with you.
Personal business, they
Yeah,
meant like, you know, it's two men,
yeah,
they settle it like,
yeah,
you know, as grown-ups.
yeah.
So, you know, you as a third party, like you just need to be neutral in whatever it is.
You know, like maybe they'll be thinking the Gambian way of thinking, oh, Jesus will be like, oh, I have a I don't know. I don't know if they have an issue or whatever. Whatever happened, Jesus, the Gambians are expecting you to say, hey, Jesus ni abu a problem or something, Tefanam ni abu a problem or something, because that's what they expect from you when it's none of your business. Gambian bisa ame problem and idiota nagawara am problem ako kuno again and
It's
to
crazy.
be honest, again, I didn't ask you if you have a manager, because I already know that you have
No,
a
yeah.
manager, but I think people should know too, because it's not my show. I'm here for the people. But again, I want to say thank you to your manager, Hussein, because I invited you and he didn't even know that we spoke about it. And he messaged me and let me know that he manages you now, blah, blah, blah. And me having to manage Inyasi now, which I spoke to you about, I know nothing about managing an artist. He just messaged me randomly to say, I want you to manage me, and I'm a woman in the industry. Your manager, I have to say thank you to him, because he messaged me and encouraged me to keep doing what I'm doing,
Definitely.
and also said, if you need help from management or advice or anything, I am definitely here, which
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
the encouragement.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's one of the like. That's one of the. I'm not. I don't even have a word for it. You know, that's one of the like
Yeah.
most amazing people that you could ever meet. Like, you know, in real life, somebody that's selfless. You know, somebody that always thinks about people's
Yeah.
interest. You know, over his. You know, so I will only pray to God to keep blessing him and his family. You know, he's a great guy, man. Shout out to you, Abu Buso, wherever you are. Maybe he's listening to us right
Of
now.
course he
You know,
is.
maybe later, if he doesn't listen to it right
Yeah.
now, he might see it on my page or yours. You know, he will come to he will come to listen to it. But he's a great guy, a very unique guy. He was contributed a lot into Gambian music too as well. So God bless him.
Hussein, I really appreciate what your manager did because yalla ni mo be fenkeka nga diko dolel diko hane japasi hamga it makes them proud. Oh, I'm doing good. People are loving what I'm doing. So I definitely appreciated when he messaged me to say keep doing what you're doing and also told me like he is managing you and I was like okay, I've already got you coming to the hot seat. Hussein, this question I'll have to read it in English because it's sent to me, but like I said, I don't write the question. He said, are you still working with Runaway Entertainment? We have seen Oga J coming live once talking about you need to come out to talk. Yeah, so I don't know.
Currently I'm not working with Runway Entertainment. I'm working as a solo artist. And then I got my management team and all of that. These are the people I'm working with. But as for Oga J, he's still family. Like I said, he has contributed a lot towards my career, a lot. So even if not the music, me and Oga J, since started knowing each other, it has always been a brotherly thing, or like a small brother and an older brother thing, So that still continues. We talk on any and we talk like most of the time. We communicate. He asks me, if I'm good, how am I doing, and then I ask the same. So that's my family. But like I said, in as much as you're good with anybody, misunderstanding will become monkey.
Yeah.
So at some point there was this little misunderstanding. The very night it happened, that was the very night it ended. And then he came back on live, and apologized to the people, for his mistake. So what become monkey does. So it is what it is.
Hussein, we saw you recently boycott Wastahalat, and we also saw you literally said you took the award you won, you literally put the award in the bin. And when I heard that, I was like, how rude. Like me, I'm the honest type. Me, how I was like, how rude. And I had sister here on this show, and she said, oh, I had that Hussein said he put the award in the bin and on that live show. I said, really? How rude. So Hussein, like, I would still say this. Like when I had it, I'm like
I said, where I stand, I always stand on it. I actually put it in the bin, actually put it in the bin, and yeah. Since
how
that day, I
rude.
haven't seen
Now I have you,
the award.
Hussein. Now I
But
have
like,
you in my my face here. Hussein, wait.
I could have listen. I
Wait.
could have put it in the bin. I could have put it in a bin for someone else to take it and like use it as what's it called, as something they're gonna use to beautify their homes. But I didn't do that. I totally destroyed it and then I threw it in the bin so that no one else will be able to use it. Because one thing, I'm not like, let's say we pass that right now. I wish What's the Halal Music Awards the very best, even though I'm never gonna be on the platform, which I've already made clear several times. I really wish them the very best. But like Aji, in whatever that you are doing, respect, is something that everybody deserves. So if you reach to a point that you feel like people are disrespecting your craft, people are not appreciating what you're doing, it's to move your energy somewhere else that is going to be appreciated. Because everybody with a vision, with eyes, knew that in 2021, that year, there was no Gambian artist. I'm not even going to exclude anybody. 2021, like what I really put in the game, the change that I put in the game for that year, even everybody, like even I can remember there was this space on Twitter, early January. No, I was in Nigeria. Yeah, early January. Early January. It was in February. Early January. There was this space on Twitter, early January 2022. People were like, okay, if this year, if What's the Highlight is gonna come, we all know that 2021, like Hussein Dada owns that year. Like I filled up Q City to the highest level that till this day, there is nobody has ever filled up Q City to that point. I dropped the album that was highly like appreciated by everybody. So I came to realize that, man, all that work, and somebody's trying to downplay it, it makes no sense. So at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, let me just take it with good faith that this is what it is, but let me just exclude myself into whatever it is. Because Sister Jai herself texted me, and it was like, I was like, if it's about the Wasahalat, in a very, 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 like, in a very respectful way. you know, if it's about the Wasahalat, you know, I'm sorry. I even put, I'm sorry to say I'm not going to be part of it this year, but I wish you guys the very best of luck, because I don't want it to seem like I had any bad blood or whatever, you know, because if I happen to see her, you know, we greet, and then, you know, each goes our separate ways, you know. But with the award itself, the Wasahalat, you know, they cannot have my presence on it, you know, anymore, because I feel like, you know, if something out there is trying to, like, you know, downplay your work, you know, whatever, you know, those are not things that I'm really trying to stand for, you know. And my fans, they deserve more than that, you know. So if my fans are out there, you know, seeing that, you know, I've been treated, you know, unfairly and all of that, I need to correct that, you know. And me doing that was the only correct way of doing it, to be honest.
Hussein, I will also go back to my word and say, how rude. And you've got the guts to come out and say, I put the thingy in the bin. I was like, bloody hell, this guy. But to be honest, yeah, like seriously. And even now thinking about it, I'm like, how rude. Like, but seriously, yeah. But do you think, like, even though you have done that, but do you think that the media needed to know that that's what you did? But, oh, did you come to the media out of anger at that
I've
point?
never came to any media to talk about it. It's even
Okay,
a
is it?
surprise. Yeah, it's a surprise that you were telling me this, because only few people knew about this. Maybe, you know, he say, she say, this say, or whatever.
Rumor.
So, you know, whoever said it out there, because I've never had a interview to say that, you know, I really trashed the award in a being, because, like, you know, it's a national thing, you know. So, you know, so I wouldn't just come outside and said I did this. If I wanted to do that, the very moment I was doing it, I was gonna
Female.
video myself doing it. Exactly. So I wouldn't do something like that, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, since you asked me about it, it is me. It is my right to be honest, to tell you that that was the truth, and then that was what I did, to be
I
honest.
love your honesty. You see, this is why I'm close to Singati, because him, I will just point. Who said don't rumor has it that the reason why most of you artists boycott the WhatsApp halal is because of attack. So is your reason also of boycotting the WhatsApp halal because of attack?
Yo, no. Why would I boycott something because of an individual, man? That would be crazy, man. At the end of the day, I have no agenda against this individual. You know, he's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. If I don't wish him good, you know, why would I ever want to wish something bad for him? You know, so he wouldn't, like, even if not him or anybody else out there, I would never ever boycott anything because of an individual. You know, especially somebody that, you know, at the end of the day, I don't feel like I have anything towards this person, you know. So it was never about an individual. It was about, you know, disrespect, you know, towards my craft, downplay towards what I have done, you know. So it has nothing to do with an individual. And the Lord is my witness.
Hussein, recently we have seen ST and Attack, the goat, and everyone at the Amo Theater. And we recently also saw you. I did ask ST this on his hot seat. We also saw you being very close to ST. And at some point, you and Attack had this push and pull online that really went. I wouldn't say it went nasty and disgusting. I think it went to another level where your wife was involved and you had to come out and apologize to your wife publicly. I respect you for that again, because it happened on the internet and your apology went on the internet. So rumor has it that ST is literally gathering these young artists and bringing them close to him to get the response that he wants from those whenever he is attacked by another artist or another individual. So you as an artist and you being someone close to you, do you think that your beef with Attack is regarding you and Attack, but not ST, you fighting ST's war on behalf of ST?
Well, actually, I don't even feel like there is a beef between me and Attack, to be honest, you know. I just feel like at that very point there was a little misunderstanding, you know, on Twitter, you know, and then it got out of hands, like you said, you know. And then I believe that, you know, when it got out of hand, you know, like somebody has to be, you know, somebody always has to be see the bigger picture, you know, and know that, you know, this is not leading to anywhere that will bring peace between anyone, you know. So, you know, I happen to apologize to my wife, you know, because I wouldn't want to be the reason why anybody else would disrespect, you know, my wife. You know, I wouldn't ever want to be the reason, you know. So whatever it is that, is happening over there has nothing to do with me. Like I said, I'm always neutral and stuff like that. So that's the only thing that's there.
Hussein, would you as an artist who is now married and who so many people are looking up to, or people are just looking at you and the bad things that will happen, because ni fututa mo jama ka sile ka fuko ali batudora ali jibe. So would you let anything to go to that level? Because if you ask me, I always talk about marriage. Always, my so from 2016 when I started talking is about relationships. And when I saw that, I felt like you played a big role where it could have stopped, knowing that, oh, because it started from your wife crawling. It didn't just go bump to your wife, it crawled. So at some point, do you think that you will ever let it go to that level again where your wife will be publicly being disrespected like that?
Yeah, because one thing I realize is that once you get married, people when they want to get to
Yeah.
you, they don't actually come to you no more, because they're like, he will take it as a man, so he's definitely not gonna feel pissed about it. So they would definitely want to direct the energy elsewhere, which is your wife, who has an innocent wife that has nothing to do with whatever it is that we. That was what really pissed me, because like me and this individual, we can talk about us, me and him, till next tomorrow. Nobody will care. But then on a first response to whatever it is, you happen to bring somebody else's wife into it. That's crazy. That's really crazy. So, but then at the end of the day, like you said, I pray, and then I pray to God that I will never be in a situation that somebody else would disrespect my wife because of me. I pray that shit never happens again.
Then there is a saying in Wolof, you must have heard it. Si Yusundurla Dinkulo, ako iko nit ku lay wut jem jotula dafay set ki la gëna jege mu jaare fa. Basically, again, you are now a package. Wherever your name is called, is your wife will be called. Wherever her name is called, and you'll be called. And let me tell you one thing. I told my friend yesterday, because I give relationship advices. I was married, and my ex-husband Pamodo, anyways, your Gambian music industry, he's the president.
Yeah.
I tell my friend, I said, if you are being disrespectful on the internet, people will say people will say Hussein be more ala muso disrespect. If ajikema, it's always connected to me. Jekari aji dafa foolish mom si internet bi la de nek xalé la de commenter lo wax dañu jekari aji. People always connect, instead of they say Hussein dañu jekari aji. So you always
Definitely.
Men have to be conscious when you disrespecting your wife. They always say jekaram, mom jekari aji, mom jekar. The name will tag along, and this is how you disrespect your wife. And I think that Hussein, I would say this: you're an artist who is married. You need to now differentiate a single artist and a married artist. Because when they come for you, bro, they come for your wife, because they know set where they will hit.
Yeah.
It's not only attack, but every other artist who is coming for you. And if they know that your wife, she means a lot to you, and the first story to see you, why do you think people do Sagan Day? Because they know and they be Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. And having to move on to something else, who said we're still on the beef with attack. Rumor has it that your beef with attack was fueled up by Jibu Balagay. So we are halad. Was it? Do you think that it was fueled by Jibu Balagay, or it was something else that you guys had underneath and it just fueled up?
Well, actually, I wouldn't know about that, because I didn't know, because
Well, I love
like
this
I
show.
said,
This show is where you hear all of it.
Because like I said, at a point in everybody's life, some people would come in the game, and feel like, let me just joke about it, because like the thing is, when he was coming, he had this song Aki and Popo, that was towards me and Chanta. I never took that serious. It was just like a joke, because like at the end of the day, many artists will come in the game, and see a way to just be on the spotlight. So for him, maybe that was the way he wanted to take, because at that very point in time, the competition level was very high. So maybe you couldn't just come with your own song, and just make a hit. But if you come in a different way, to make fun of other guys, because I wouldn't call it a beef, because he didn't insult me, he didn't insult Chanta. It was just a nice, funny song, you know, that was towards me, Chanta, you know, and the whole label, because I could remember Mike Jada and Oga J was involved too as well. So I wouldn't say G fueled anything, you know, because he being an OG, you know, he understands the game and stuff like that. But if an artist comes to you, your artist comes to you and be like, this is what I want to do, you know, and you see that there is no point that he's insulting anybody, no point that he was saying anything that was out of context, you know, you definitely give him a green light to do what he wants to do, you know.
Hussein, that is clear. This is why I said I didn't even know about this, but people think about this, and people have these things in their head. And yala jibu fana ate tokuya mom fune kala turam jibu gaya. Hey, oh my God. So Hussein, basically we still on the rumor. Rumor has it that Hussein, as a young guy before he got married, he goes out a lot. You see Hussein, he's at restaurants, club, he's partying. You as a married man now, do you party, go out a lot? Like, what do you do as a married man? And again, I'm not come message. Muna nawa Hussein Daysan, mu contact Halim Guru, ma de nek di call, di latte Hussein Daysan. Muna she thinks the Hussein too. Hussein,
Yeah.
basically, I was where I was saying that rumor has it that like when you were not married as a single man, you were partying all night, going to restaurants and living the young and the single man's life. Do you think like how you live in your life now? Are you still doing that, or you've grown out of that as a married man?
I feel like whoever said that, that was incorrect, because
It's the
Hussein was a
rumor.
person who, yeah,
That's the rumor.
who, whoever said that was just saying whatever they want to say, because Hussein is not a person who goes out that much. You know, I'm not even a person who likes going out that much, because normally I get in the club, you know, I just feel like I feel depressed, you know, stuff most times, unless I'm with my people, you know, we just want to have a good time and then just, you know, dark, you know. But then now that I'm married, you know, I don't feel like those are things that entertain me anymore, you know. But once in a while, I'll go out in the club with
Definitely.
my wife, you know, have fun, you know, just, you know, to keep it fun, you know. We cannot just be at home all the time or just go, you know, sometimes we just go to the club and then, you know, have little fun and then come back home, you know. But then to say Hussein was Hussein was an individual that goes out that much, you know, that's something that anybody who say, or the people that were saying that, maybe they were seeing somebody that might look alike, you know, but that was never me, you know.
Because of title mom la mom la fi amu fi ben si handor hi
That was never me.
basically do you think like you have an anger issue because there's a rumor too that says Jose gets angry very quickly like do you think you have any anger issues or you don't?
Well, I would say that's like 70% correct. You know, I get angry easily, but the anger goes away much quicker. You know, like I'll be angry for like 1 minute, and then the next second it's gone. You know, so that I wouldn't say that's incorrect. So I'll say, yeah, that they might be right about that.
Yeah, definitely I have anger issue. That one. If I start yeah, if I start explaining me anger, me just call me Aji, I'm angry. Who said the guy volunteer. Hey, me, I swear, people that knows me always hey, seriously, yeah. When we started and we said, you know, sometimes you can meet people in a different mood. I tell people, don't call me video call, don't call me in the morning. I am always waking up from the wrong side of the bed.
Bad.
I am always moody. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, today someone called me video call and I got so mad and I was effing and blind and he was like, you need to stop. It's just a video call. I said, people should stop calling me video call. But Hussein, let me tell you, Gambians would understand. If they listen to this show, they'll be like, Adi Hamud Bopam, every day music video, we did live, but she
That's
does not
different.
like video call.
That's something she does, you know. So it's
I don't
totally
like
different.
video calls.
It's
It gets
totally
me so angry at it's
it's totally different. It's totally.
Hussein, basically, I wanted you to tell me how did you get close to ST? Like, how did your friendship started to the point that you lot got this close to this point?
Well, actually, you know, like I said before I started this music thing, I used to keep calling him like the way other people used to call me and disturb me. I'm a fan. So you know that's how, you know, our friendship really started. You know, even before he became like a big a A-list artist in the Gambian music industry. You know, see, this is how we knew each other. So when I started as an artist, you know, I used to send him my songs, you know, for him to check it out. I could remember sending him my first song. You know, it took him about like almost a week to listen to the song. You know, I was like, ah, man, maybe this guy's never gonna listen to this song. But to my surprise, you know, the following week he just called me out of the blue. I'm like, SD is calling me, bro. You know, I'm like, let me just listen to what he's saying. So it's like, bro, you know, I swear to God, this is actually what he said. He was like, bro, man, I listened to your song. You are dope. And he's like, if I have the power to sign anybody, I'll sign you. Wallahi, this is what he said. And he was with somebody, I forgot the name. He was like, you know, I'm with all these people, you know, and then I played your song in the car, and all of these people, they love your song, you know. So, you know, I was, after that, you know, that kind of thing, you know, I felt really happy because I'm like, bro, you know, I didn't even think this guy was going to listen to this song. And to my surprise, my very first show I had in Sukuta, you know, I told him about it. I didn't even invite. I was like, bro, you know, I have this show in Sukuta, you know, if you're free, you could just pass by. But I never thought he was going to come to the show. You know, I wasn't there. You know, you would have to come late as the main act. You know, I was at home. People were like, bro, guess who just came to your show? ST, and he performed. You know, I was like, nah, bro, y'all niggas lying. They have to send me videos. You know, so he has always been supportive, you know. He's always been supportive, you know. And this is why I always have mad respect for him, you know, because he always look out for his, you know, somebody that's real to a point that if he fucks with you, he fucks with you. If he doesn't, you know, it is what it is, you know. So as a human being, you need to stay true to yourself, you know. And I believe that's the kind of person he is, you know. So since then, you know, we always just connect, you know, on different levels and all of that. So this is what always keeps our relationship tight.
Hussein, you know, with what you just said, I want to take you through that this is how your own fans feel about you. If you had, like now, I just got a message from a lady watching this show and said, please tell Hussein to even say hi to this guy that kept a boss in your inbox about that I want Hussein. Because like just the feeling of you having to love ST and having to see him or know I cannot tell you the feeling, but this is because these days, I don't know if you saw the video, I was chasing two Gambian artists to come to the hot seat to the point that I got angry and I came out. And then many other people contacted me, different platform owners, to say this is what we have, this is the issue we have with Gambian artists. And I even have to mention, because I mentioned all of your names to say this is what inspired between me and every artist, so that they will know that it's all of you. Because even when I was doing the show, people are like, hey, Hussein, tell us when you first spoke to Hussein, because they want to know, like, the first time I spoke to you, how it went. So I want you guys to be considerate.
What the conversation was like.
Yes, I want you guys to be considerate. I want you guys to know that your fans love you so much. So let me take you through in 2011 and 2012. I was a dead fan of Inyasi. I would have paid anything to meet Inyasi. Like when I say a dead fan, that's how I was obsessed with the guy. I used to call Sister Njai, begging sister to meet E. And he visited me a few times, and I invited him on my birthday when I met him. Few months ago, I think it was January. This was ages ago in the Gambia. Who said I sat down and a message came from Inyasi. My heart dropped, my jaw dropped. I had a panic attack. To this day, you know what? When the message came, I said, even if, before I opened this message, I took a screenshot for it to be a souvenir. I swear down. When I opened it and I went to the last time,
in case the message is deleted.
and this is me now managing Inyas. You know what I mean? I don't know for good at tank. And imagine when he was contacting me to manage him. Hussein, you know what? I went back to the Facebook messages. The last time I spoke to him was in 2017. And these days I was speaking to him. I had to take the screenshot. And I saw it, the screenshot, I was laughing. He was like, what are you laughing about? I said, I need to send you this. And I sent him the message I didn't open. So this is how much we love you.
Yeah,
like, so even me having to have you on my platform today, I've got one of the biggest Gambian artists on my platform. So even me, it's a moment for me. It's something that I'll be proud of, because I'll be hearing that many platforms will be chasing Hussein. But again, you not choose where you go. But I just want to remind you that people love you and they do ask for you. Hussein, having to move on, we want to know, like, in the Gambian music industry, every guy that I bring here, I ask you this question, because the show is about to end. We saw the ladies, the women coming out to complain that the music industry is gender biased. It's more of you, the men, who are winning, and you are more the men who are literally having to get what you want. Some of them have even came out and cried and said, the people will use them just to get them where they want to get to. So from your point of view, do you think that the industry is gender biased? It is more male dominated? Or do you think that all it takes is hard work? And do you think all the women are being treated the same as the men?
Well, Aji, in every industry in the world, men are dominated. Like men dominate every industry in the world, be it music, movies, or whatever. I just believe that, like, with Gambia, it's kind of different. When ladies say we're not supporting them, I still don't understand what kind of support they're talking about. Because all the female artists in the Gambia have very good relationship with them. When I said good, I don't mean very close, but like we are on good terms. We talk when it's necessary. When it's needed. So when it said that, you know, when it said that, we don't have the support, I don't know what kind of support it is that, we're saying here, because I cannot leave my own way. I'm struggling for myself to make sure that, I'm making good songs and all of that. So what else can I actually add on this other individual's career, that's going to make them outstanding? Because at the end of the day, it's what you put in. For example, last year, our Gambia changed the whole narrative of this conversation we're having right now. If support was in there, do you think she would have achieved everything she did last year?
Definitely not.
Simple logic is the hard work, the belief she has in herself, the good songs. This is what makes an artist. We men could say that we have treated unfairly too as well, because normally we will go look for sponsors, and then it's very difficult to have sponsors. But you cannot take somebody's money from their pocket by force. If you are a company, I come to you and I want you to sponsor me, I believe it's in you to say yes or no, because your money, your resources belongs to you. It doesn't belong to me. But because I have that thing that could convince you that if you sponsor me, your company will benefit from it. That's the reason why you sponsored me at the end of the day. So this is why what I always say. I believe that, our ladies, they need to have that confidence in them, and stop having the belief that it is the male artist that will make them become what they want to become. Because if you are sitting there waiting for that, you might wait forever and it will never come. So you just need to start making your own songs, good visuals, and then connect with the fans. Easiest ABC. There is nothing that can stop you if your music is outstanding. If the music is good, the fans will buy it. And the fans are the ones that buy the ticket to come to shows. It's not me who said that I cannot buy a ticket to come and watch his fellow artists. But the fans, they will flood your gate to come and see what you got for them. So, that narrative, I really wanted to change that, they've been treated unfairly and all of that, because I don't really think that's the case, to be honest. And this, I always say it in every interview, that I don't feel like that's the case, to be honest.
And Hussein, like you said, hard work pays off, and definitely, I think, Damit, I thought about, I said this on few videos too, but I just want you guys to give me your different opinions about this question. Hussein, can you take me a little bit about your tour recently? Basically, I had Singate on my show the other day, and before we go to this show, nte ni moye kuke, I just tell you, if I have to credit you, I credit you. If I have to say you did wrong, I tell you straight away, because that is me. That's why people love my shows, because they love the honesty and the boldness of telling the person the truth, regardless of who you are. Who said, recently, the video you did about Singate, I just want to say, what is it? I just want to say you did a nice thing out there. I just want to say, when you did that video, I had Singate on the show the same day the video was sent to me, and I sent him the video and said, watch this before you come to my show. This is man suma anda ni dama anda yo sidika suma la bay ma bay la sidika suma dem ak yo ma dem sidika. And I just, that's why I said, maybe now I can see the level of maturity. And when Singata was sitting right here, right in my face, I said, I think you went over the board. You shouldn't have. Something happened, stay on your lane, and where it happened and address that. You went over the top, and when Hussein said, I feel like we've been thrown under the bus, I felt the same thing. But again, Latake credit damage is having to come out. You spend 10 minutes of saying something Mia Lonko is sent. You put your heart nicely, no disrespect, no cussing, no like Iman Dungala. You gave him the respect as an adult. Like I said to him, if you watch that video, Dinga set as a toga, and I'm glad you came out to say what you had to say, because another person will be hurt and pretending and have a beef with him. And I said, you are an adult in the industry, so you need to know your place. Man munuma anda nit ko xamne duma la wax dega te yow tay so fa defon lu wrong sa video dama la wax but dama la bëgga jaajeufate ci li nga génna ak ni nga ko waxee ni nga ko adressé sa wax ega fam wara ega te saaguloo si disrespect lo boromam. So I just want to say thank you over how you did that video. You just nailed that video, and I want to say thank you very much. And to be honest, you did on that video, you did say Singate, it would be nice for you to come out and apologize, just like you wrote that post. And I said to him, he is right. And you are on my platform right now. You have the platform to apologize to Hussein. And he said, you know what? It's not only Hussein that I offended. I just want to apologize to every other artist. Mia Lonko, I have Fanjili. You see, like if we start telling each other the truth and facing the truth, and when people do wrong, you tell them, hey, itala I would lam and I want to say again, as a young person, as a young artist, and I think that this is a way forward when you have issues and you have this is not me. So I am doing this in a nicer way because I don't even come out and rant. And just to cut the long story short, I just want to say thank you for being so respectful in how you deliver your message.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hussein, like take me just a little bit over your journey, because this is the last thing you're taking on, and we talk about your album and end the show. Like take us through your journey for the first time in Europe, and how the people were treated you, the promoters, where you stayed, and how everything was just went with you.
Well, you know, it's the first time, you know, for everything, and that was my very first time, you know, going to Europe for anything, not just for shows, but the first ever, like first time ever. You know, I would say, you know, I had the good times, you know, and then I had the times that were, you know, a little bit difficult, you know, because like I'm not gonna say it was a rich organization that took me, you know, so you know we need to do things. We had to do things bit by bit. We had to do things, you know, in a much way that will help us save something at the end of the day. You know, because let's say for instance, I had been there, you know, staying in hotels in all of my time being there. You know, it would have been difficult, you know, to really pop up with a lot of money coming back home. You know, but then at the end of the day, you know, when I was there, the love was actually amazing. Wallahi, I'm not gonna lie about that because I spent most of my time in Hamburg. You know, there my people are there that those are my friends that I grew up with. You know, since we were kids. You know, so it was more like a family. You know, me living with my family. You know, it was very good. It was nice, the vibes and all of that. You know, so it was a very great time for me, you know, and then I met new people that I didn't know before, that I happened to meet when I was there. You know, these people were all very nice, and today we talk on a daily basis, you know. So this was the beauty of it, you know. It's not just the shows, but it's about the connect with the people, you know, the people that now I call family, you know, people that I can always connect with, you know. And a big shout outs to DJ Patan, you know, and Denver, you know, because those were the two people behind the whole thing. You know, so I'm really, I would always send them a shout out. These people are great people, you know, great individuals, you know, people that always look after theirs, you know. So it was amazing, you know, it was amazing, to be honest.
Hussein, I think that I saw most of your WhatsApp status, and I felt like, okay, you know, like you were literally going out and enjoying the big time that you had. But I think that's one thing we should credit Gambians for. You dole len juga. Gambian bi dafa buga gan te mun na teral gan. And regardless of you being an artist, that is us. That's why we are called the Smiling Coast. We are welcoming. Gambians are so welcoming, is unbelievable. Who said like having to come to your album? This is where we end the show. I want to know like your project. Like we want to know like what are you working on, because your fans are expecting something. We saw the flyers of you having a shows very soon. Can you give us like the project, what you're working on, like just to give a feedback to your fans and what they should be expecting?
Okay, well, actually, I will start with the date of the show, then I will get into the album. The date of the show is December 9th. You know, it's going to be at Q City, inshallah. So, y'all could just keep that for now, you know. Okay, well, the name of the album is International Localu. You know, and then International Localu meaning, in a sense, that a big flexer, you know, somebody that just flex it big, like in whatever they're doing, you know. Because I could remember, like, my first album, Bad Boy Dada, this was talking about my background, you know, about where I come from, you know, what the bad boy means and all of that. Then you have The Chosen One, which talks about the same, you know, the same thing, but in a different way, you know, about Damfakunda, Bashe, and the Sukuta thing. And now coming to what's the International Local, you know, International Local, now you have to give it a different meaning. You know, this has to be an album that is totally different from The Chosen One and Bad Boy Dada. This is where we come with the International Local. It's not even something created by me, because there was Uche that I sent a beat to, and then I told him to create a hook, and he was the one that came up with the International Local. But I saw the uniqueness of it, you know, and I was like, this is what I want to call my next project, you know. So this project is going to be consist of 12 songs, you know, 12 songs, and all these 12 songs are already being recorded. Like, they are all recorded. I'm just waiting on 2 verses from 2 futures. You know, these are the 2 futures I'm waiting for, and now it's just the producer to work on the beats, and then we're done with the album. And then I'm thinking of releasing this album in late October, inshallah. I want to release the album, and then the show is going to happen in December on the 9th. You know, so this is what we are working on right now. We already have our 4th single out, which is the International Local featuring Uche. You know, the 2nd single is done already, you know. So we were thinking of releasing it on the 7th of September. I already have a snippet of it on TikTok that people are doing crazy videos. You know, it's a love song. It's about my wife too as well. You know, so people, they love it. You know, so this actually things. Yeah, so exactly. So we're gonna have another single that's gonna come out before the album itself in October. Then we're gonna release the album in October. Then the people are gonna vibe with the album from October till December. Then we have the show.
Hussein, that is really clear, and I hope everyone comes back and watch this show till this end. And Hussein, part of what I do on the hot seat to encourage artists and support artists, I tell people I've been supporting Gambian artists with my boutique since I was in the Gambia. So I've sponsored shows and I've hosted shows for Gambian artists, and because I love Gam music, I love my own. So who said everyone that comes on this show, if you have something come up, I try and sponsor. So again, this was not part of the show, but here the Ajis Corner, I left a car for Eleko Sat Sobi in December, the agenda 10 ticket, Mameko fancy Ajis Corner.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that.
I would definitely. And everybody that comes to this show, Barhama, he saw about 10 tickets. And everybody that comes, I can name all of them. So I just think there is a way for them to encourage and at giving back to you guys, podcast support. And Niwato Sita, I don't know, because Barhamas, I tell him, I question on Yininka, Menga win, the 10 tickets goes to him. Regardless if they don't win it, the 10 tickets still comes to you, whoever you want to give it to. But I want the 10 tickets to be given to you, and definitely 10 tickets will be given to you, and sign it down. And I said it on the internet. So that is from Ajis Corner to your show. And thank you very much for coming to my show. This is why I tell people, you might not know what you get there. Just go and be respectful and pick your call or reply to people. And Hussein, again, I will get it to your manager, Abu. Send me his number again when this show is there. I'm not gonna forget. When I promised Tida Joe, I kept reminding Tida, Fate Oma Day is so bad. So I did not because after the Ninga because after Ninga Nakangodi, poor people, Kaloneko, media, because Hussein, I've supported so many Gambian artists, and B, anyhow I can do or anything I can do to support you, and it's not you, only you. Any other artist, if a show is coming up, the little I have, I give it to you. So I don't know what you want to do with the 10 tickets. If you want to come back to at this corner, you give it to your fans, or you have people that you want to give it. But I think, Tamit, it would be nice to give it here, because you're more totally here.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say, because I seen somebody just commented, Aji, don't forget Alji Bulma Fate, I need the ticket. So I definitely believe that people from Aji's corner deserve the ticket more. You know, so we have to really pick the winners from this particular show itself. You know, because it's coming from the show. So the people that used to watch the show, those are the ones that deserve the ticket. Like, the most.
Like, I understand too that maybe when the show is near, you might be busy. But I will definitely tell you that even if it's gonna be a week, I will want you to come back to Aji's Corner and promote the show live.
Definitely,
And give the
definitely.
ticket, because that will remind them.
Because those times. Yeah, because those times we'll be going for interviews and stuff like that. So actually, we'll come back to Aji's Corner, inshallah.
Definitely, that will
We'll
also
definitely
remind the
be there.
people that, you have a show the 9th of December, because now meta
So,
is
exactly.
So it's a way of promoting the
Exactly.
show for na first song or they will get busy and they will wait for you for the 10 tickets. So we can schedule that later, a week before the show. You come and then we do our little game here, and then everyone wins their
Definitely.
Even if they don't win it, the
Definitely, we'll
answer,
do
the
that.
ticket goes to you. If you want to give it to them, you just give it to them. And I will say thank you very much for replying to my messages, picking my calls, or returning my calls on time. And I really appreciate this chit chat with you. And thank you very much to you, your manager, and the fans that are asking for you. And I want to say good night. You have a good night. Kiss, good night.
You too. And one more word. Y'all can go follow me on all social handles.
Yes,
Hussein Dada.
I've tagged your name. That's why normally when you guys come, I tag. Go and follow.
Thank you so much, Aji. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, Hussein, have a good night, guys. Lima de wax rek seen artiste yi soo leen amul loo leen jox sax mun ngeen a follow guys yi. So maa ngi tag Hussein néemam ku ko munta search wala mun loo spell turam, just click on Hussein and then nga dem si page am bi and go follow him. Maybe yan mi nga xam ne yaaga ngeen di ma seetaan sax mbiri sey ngeen ma dee seetaani, go and support your Gambian artist. Loolu moo tax maa leen dee indi fii nii. Please, 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 please. Dama faate wax Hussein mu jox ñu freestyle waaye dem na, but bu leen ko jàppee. Léegi lu ñoo def mooy time bu mu ñëwee pour joxe ticket si dinañ make so while mu ngeen joxe ticket si ñu play music am yi ñu freestyle maa leen ko dig. So ticket si di ngeen ko jot. Waa Aji's Corner, I just want to say salute you. Gis ngeen man nii laa leen dee joxe because yéen a ma nekk di support. So this is the little back I can give back to you guys. Ku nekk Europe tamit te nga win ticket bi mun nga koo jox ku nekk Gambia. I love you guys. Kiss, kiss. Mwah.